the way I pitch brands and why they should be using Flip.shop is pretty simple. They're getting in front of shoppers directly, and not only shoppers, but Gen Z shoppers, which are probably the most influential group of shoppers at the moment, right? Especially when it comes to trends.
All right, Avery, we are recording this on the day before Thanksgiving. This will be out on Monday. So, as a recap, I want just three things that you're thankful for, whether they're about emerging technology and brand or they're just about life. Go.
Okay, 3 things I'm thankful for. It's a good challenge, Sam. So first, gotta say family. My family's amazing. Just came off my little sister's wedding, so I was reminded of that. Second thing I'm thankful for is just the evolution of how everything's going at Vayner. I feel like the winds of change are really blowing in a fun direction these days. And, Keith Grossman who we just had on, had a great quote. I think he was quoting Lenin, but he talked about how there are decades when nothing happens and there are weeks where decades happen. And I feel like we're kind of at that moment with a bunch of the stuff that we've been working on for a long time at Vayner. So I'm thankful for that. And third of all, I'm thankful for you and Wen and our Gen Z community, because this is truly such a highlight of my week every week. I'm going to throw it back to you. Reverse Uno. What are your three?
Reverse perfect. I love that. I'm going to pick up where you left off. So, I truly enjoy our relationship, what we get to do every week, the people we get to talk to who generously give us their time. You gave a shout out to Wen Trong, our amazing producer, partner in crime. She is truly, we couldn't do this without her. So, and also thankful to CoinDesk, which helps us make this all happen. Second, I'm going to say that I'm sort of thankful for living in the time that we're living. It's completely chaotic. But I will say I've never, felt like there is not more opportunity in the world, more, just places one can go, and both to make an individual career or a career within another organization. For those who have, the intention and the hustle and the opportunity to, play this game, I think it's a pretty wild game to be playing right now. And then third for me is, yes, the friends and family I have in my life are so special to me and really make all of this easier. It's easy for me to look at when I work a 20-hour day to be like, oh, well, the benefit it brings my daughter, or the benefit it brings my partner, or the benefit it brings my family, or my friends, all of that stuff. It doesn't feel as much a job when you put it through the lens of all the people you can affect with your time, with your generosity, with your opinions, with all the stuff that we do. So totally agree with you on all of those. Those are beautiful. With that, Avery, now that we got those three out of the way,
We're also grateful for our guest.
we're grateful for our guest. He is a friend of both of ours, someone who is sort of always on the scene in our spaces, right? There's sort of, almost no one more connected than this guy, Rembrandt Flores. He is the Chief Brand and Amplification Officer at Flip.shop. We've talked about Flip a number of times. It is a social commerce app. They're doing things a little different than a TikTok, a little different than some of the others out there. And I'm really excited to hear what he's going to bring. And he's also just a really fun guest to have on. So for our post-Thanksgiving show, excited to have Rembrandt on after the break.
We all want to believe in something. In Chinese, belief also means trust. We want to trust our systems and each other to explore new frontiers and build a future beyond what we know. For the past 10 years at Consensus, pioneers, builders, and dreamers have gathered together to create a new financial system where everyone has value. Join us at Consensus Hong Kong, where belief becomes real.
All right, Gen Z, welcome back. We are here with one of our favorite people, the amazing, talented, beautiful Rembrandt Flores. Rembrandt, we're going to get into our history with you, the stuff we can talk about, by the way. But we're going to focus on both you, social commerce, what you're doing at Flip.shop, which we've talked about many times on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just exciting to have you. You have such a great perspective on the world. You come out of comms world, you know marketing, you know product. You're really a true Renaissance man. So first off, Rembrandt, for our audience, give us the TLDR on your background. How did you get to this moment where you're sitting with Avery and I?
Wow. How much time do we have?
2 minutes.
2 minutes only? Okay, great. So
Yes.
I'll condense this and make this as succinct as possible. So I guess overall, I could say my background's been in communications, marketing, and PR and events. Had an agency, Entertainment Fusion Group, for over 15 years, and we worked some of the biggest names in that world. So Think Diageo, Tinder, LG, Casper, Away, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, Republic Records. We did it all. And when I say did it all, we really did it all. So before there was even Instagram, before social media, we would do events, launches for all these brands. And I think that's where I really cut my teeth in the comms world and entertainment marketing. And events were different back then, and the way that you would get media is different back then because, like I said, we didn't have social. So you really have to go out and make connections with the press people. And we had these things back in the day we don't have anymore. They're called magazines. Uh,
What?
and so, yeah, imagine they were print things that you'd actually hold and
So it was
touch.
like an iPad, and
Yeah,
just things didn't
iPad
move.
actually
Yes.
flip the pages like this from left to right or right to left, depending what country you're in. But yeah, it was a different time, and I'm very glad I grew up in that time because it gives you perspective on how things have changed and how things are moving at the speed of light, and things are very, very different today on how you get PR and how you get eyeballs and whatnot to a product. But I had a really great time, and then after sold that agency, then I decided to become like an investor advisor, and then mostly in CPG and DTC brands, helping them with their go-to-market strategies, and again, amplification efforts, partnerships with celebrities, influencers, and then after that, I decided to go into Web3, which I'm sure we're going to talk into, and then that led into my current position at Flip.shop.
Well done. He's media trained. Okay, so Rembrandt, we're going to get to Flip Shop in a few minutes, but when we all met, it was through your comms company, and you were doing a lot of work on crypto. You were a leader in that space. You still are a leader in that space. You were, especially sort of during that 2021 wave, very involved in a number of important projects, everything from Chainlink and Filecoin and many other sort of big initiatives. What got you interested in crypto? Where are you on your crypto journey today?
Right. Okay. Good question. Have you guys ever heard of an app? I don't know if it's around today, but it was a big, big thing in 2021. It was called Clubhouse. Any chance?
Oh, no. Tell me
Never
more.
heard of it.
Like,
Yes.
never heard of it. Audio only app, and it was the pandemic, and everyone was at home, and everyone was on this app, right? And so Clubhouse is, I would say, the main reason as to why I fell into the world of crypto and Web3. I don't know if you remember this thing back then as well. It was called NFTs. Have you heard of that? NFT? No? But anyways, so that was sort of my start into the crypto Web3 journey. I had a show, believe it or not, on Clubhouse. It was called Taco Tuesdays. And we would talk about founders and their journeys. And I forgot the name of the guest, but my co-host at the time, Wolf and Lion, he passed away actually in 2021, but he introduced me to the world of Web3 and crypto. And he was a Bitcoin maximalist and was like saying, you need to buy Bitcoin, you need to get into NFTs, they need marketing, they need PR, they need Rembrandt. And I go, I don't know what these means. I don't know what these acronyms are, whatever. I didn't pay any attention. But then because of the show, a lot of people were listening and they DM'd me specifically this one project. And that sort of started my journey. And that crypto project ended up making, I don't know, like if I remember correctly, $24 million in their initial mint. And I was just like, whoa, is this real life? Is this how I'm going to make money now? Is like marketing NFT projects? And that sort of led me down this sort of rabbit hole of starting 8 Commas, the amplification and company that I did for Web3. And then one crypto project led to another entity project, to working with an exchange, to working with these things. So that was a great, the bull run was great for business. And as we all know, that the bull run didn't last forever. And
We're back,
then
baby. Rembrandt. I
we're
don't know what you're
back.
talking about. We are so back.
This
We
is
are back. 2025 is
this
going
is
to be the
almost.
year. It's going to be the year, guys.
Right.
I just
But
know it.
actually, Rembrandt, I want to stop you for a second because I think you come out of a agency background. You had a lot of clients, the Filecoins and Chainlinks and DXs of the world. One of the things that I think Avery and I talk a lot about on the show is the fact that a lot of Web3 companies don't build for the long term. They're really focused on that engagement on Twitter that day, the price of the token, which really feels like, honestly, just like not very authentic to how one builds brand. It feels authentic to how to one try to make money in the short term. How do you during those times? How are you advising those companies to say like think long term? Think, when you're talking to Clara at Filecoin, how do you get her to think of this as big technology, and that you want to be around in 5 years and 10 years, and whether the price is $50 or $5 may not even matter today.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to talk to these founders, which they were actually very, very young. A lot of people in what they're very, very young, but these NFT projects, they weren't interested in the long run, I feel. Although they would tell everyone it was for the long run. And I
You heard
had
it here first.
I had to communicate it was for the long run, but in the end, I think they were lying to the people, lying to me, lying to themselves, and they were literally just there for that pump and so they can exit. But luckily, on the flip side of that, I was very fortunate to work with the Claras of the world, right? So where Filecoin or DYDX or Chainlink, they do care about longevity and they do care about that. So I didn't have to have those conversations with them because they were having those conversations with me. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna be here for the long haul. So can we figure out things that we know that are gonna work today and then tomorrow and then the day after tomorrow?" So again, very fortunate to have worked on both sides, the grifters and then the people who are building forever.
I love that you just brought that up, Rembrandt, because I feel like a lot of people just gloss over those things and they're just focus on the wins and they focus on like the things that are like the most successful. But you just got into it like some like committed forever. A lot of people, you just said they were lying to themselves and to you and to their communities. So when you think about where the crypto space is going to go moving forward, because it does always come in these waves and cycles. And right now, like we're in the meme coin era, like we're back into the Bitcoin era, which I would agree, like it's always Bitcoin season, but like it's really
Always.
Bitcoin season right now. Where do you think the crypto industry is going?
Well, I think luckily for the crypto world, we have a president that's leaning heavily into crypto. So I think we're going to definitely be back. And I think a bull run is definitely happening in 2025. I mean, the prices speak for themselves. The fact that we were almost at 100K for Bitcoin is insane to me. Uh,
Mhm.
and maybe we'll get there before the end of the year. I just wish that ETH would go over 5,000 finally.
Same.
Not because I have so much ETH or anything, but look at Sol, like the fact that they had their all-time high at 286, like literally like a couple days ago. This should be signs for all of us saying that we're definitely gonna see a big win for us all who have been waiting patiently for many, many years, i.e. 4 years or whatever. But yeah, hopefully regulation, the president, obviously Gary Gensler being out of the picture or whatever, like all those things are going to lead to us getting this boon, I believe, and we're all going to be very, very happy about it, right, guys?
All right, enough crypto talk. Rembrandt, let's get into social commerce. This is what we're here to talk about.
Yes.
Flip.shop. I remember you telling me about this. I think we were at CES 2 years ago,
Mhm.
and you were like, download the app, follow me, of course, as you do.
As I do.
And I don't think I bought anything, but I do remember like having my first experience of doing that. I was an advisor on a competing company that I think ended up getting acquired or going away. But I had always been really excited about how in Asia social commerce was such a big thing, and like just when is it coming? So what got you interested in social commerce, and also like tell everyone what Flip.shop is?
Yeah. What got me interested, I think, was just I follow trends. And so I saw what my Asian friends were downloading and using. And I'm like, what is this stuff? Live shopping and all these things. And I go, one day I'll probably come here. That was back in probably like 2020 or whatever during the pandemic. And then 2021, I discovered Flip.shop from a friend of mine and I downloaded it. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I saw in Asia. And immediately was obsessed with it. Not only am I obsessed with social media, I'm obsessed with shopping. So I'm like, wow, this combines two of my favorite things in life, right? And then, I eventually met the founder and we had a conversation and he's like, you know what? I think you bring really amazing value to the company. Love for you to advise us. So I ended up investing and advising in Flip. And it was a match made in heaven, I feel. again, because of my innate ability to buy things and
Pro shopper.
like being social at the same time. But yeah, it was before its time, I think, when we launched. And I still think that live shopping isn't a thing in the United States, right? So overall, I think social commerce is a huge thing in the United States, but live itself is not. So we did test with live and it didn't move the needle like we thought it would. But what we found was people do love shopping on their own time. So they scroll when they scroll. And with us, it's all UGC from shoppers who review products that they buy on our platform. So whether they're buying Adidas shoes or this Mercury necklace or Gucci fragrances or whatnot, once they receive it, they can actually review it and then get paid for it, which is really cool. So it's not like you can do that on every other platform. And what's great is when you scroll, you also get rewarded. So every video you watch on our platform, you're actually getting money that you can use to buy more products. So then you can get addicted to shopping, which is great. But again, we're rewarding people for shopping. Again, doing a review, then you get paid in cash, and you can actually use that money and download to your bank account, and then you can use that cash to buy more stuff if you choose to, or not, then whatever else you want to do with it, which is great. But I don't think this trend is going away. I think it's here to stay, and 80% of our shoppers are Gen Z, which we're not surprised
Wow.
by. Yes. So now it's the time to get people like Avery and Sam into it, right? Because they're not Gen Z, they're not Gen Alpha, but,
Aaron
these
suggesting?
millennials in front of me,
He's
they
calling
need
me a
to be
boomer
taught.
right now. Yes. Wait, but Rembrandt, so this is sort of, people have talked about the idea of like scroll to earn, shop to earn for a while.
Yeah,
This is that model, but correct me, it's not running on any crypto rails, right?
none,
Okay.
whatsoever.
So it's pure
Uh,
just get
exactly,
rewarded for. It's a
exactly.
loyalty play.
So again, everything's done in fiat, attach your credit card, attach your bank account, whatever. You can't be a non on this. Well, I guess you can, but you have to attach a phone number, a US phone number. It's only available in the United States for now until we go international next year. But yeah, so you have to be an American citizen, or rather, you have to be in the United States to use it. And it is actually available in Canada. So United States and Canada is available again until we go international. So yeah.
So, Rembrandt, I want to ask you a question because I think, you know, as you were starting to get used to this app, because you mentioned you invested in it, you were not yet hired by them officially, like or fully. You were advising. I follow you on most of the social channels. You have a very curated feed, which often puts you around some of the most fabulous people, some of the most beautiful people, especially in the influencer space. So I do feel like if anyone knows how these people want to monetize their feeds, it's you. I don't know if you would call yourself an influencer. You do have 100,000 plus followers. You're doing pretty well. You seem to meet a lot of celebrities somehow. I don't even know how that happens. But I do think that you are pretty in touch with the community that are influential, especially in fashion, beauty, travel, those spaces. So what's your pitch to them, right? What do you tell them about this? And what did you see that was like an unlock because you do know so many of these creators?
Yeah, so I think the way I pitch brands and why they should be using Flip.shop is pretty simple. They're getting in front of shoppers directly, and not only shoppers, but Gen Z shoppers, which are probably the most influential group of shoppers at the moment, right? Especially when it comes to trends. And saying that, hey, why wouldn't you want the ability to sell your product to these people who are literally the generation that shares more than any other generation. So the fact that you get to sell your product on Flip, and then these shoppers buy your product and then reviewing your product so that more people buy your product, where could you go wrong? Right. And so these brands were pretty, I won't say easy because it's never easy to get on board any brand, but they listened. And from listening and then seeing the numbers from other brands on the platform, we have over 7,000 brands now on the platform, guys, and mostly all brand names, obviously, that you guys know in all those categories they mentioned: beauty, fashion, entertainment, electronics, whatever. And they're experiencing, six figures, seven figures a month in sales. I mean, to me, it's a win-win, right? So not only they're doing the sales, but they're getting the UGC that they all want. These brands want that because these are the quote unquote ambassadors. These are the people that are spreading goodwill of their brand to everyone else. And who wouldn't want that? And they're not paying them, right? They're actually shoppers who bought their products. They're not receiving it on a PR kit or a PR box, rather, or giving it to from a friend of theirs. They're actually shoppers themselves. So that's sort of the value proposition that I tell brands all the time. There is no way to lose on Flip. You could only gain customers and you get UGC on top of it.
So for a lot of your the brands that you're pitching, I'm sure they're also curious about the affiliate model and the discount model. Because Flip had and still does have like a really interesting onboarding mechanism that entices people by like kind of giving them free cash, like sort of heavied up at the beginning to get them in that funnel or flywheel. How do you all think about things like promotions and affiliates at a place like Flip?
What you're saying is right. We have these programs, but again, what's great for brands to know is that they will never get less than the commission structure we decided with them, right? So let's say we do a split. For example, let's say we did a split 70-30. 70% goes to the brand, 30% to Flip. We would never ask the brand to go, if we agreed on that, to take that out of their sort of commission, right? It would come up from us. So at the end of the day, they're not getting affected negatively from anything that we're doing in terms of promotions or whatnot, because that would come out from our 30%, not theirs. So I think that again, there is no way for a brand to lose. In the past, people have said like, "Hey, what if there's a negative review?" And I'm like, "Well, there might be something bad about that the thing that they purchase, and that's okay. There are outliers, but guess what? What if 100 people said a product smelled bad? Maybe your product actually smells bad, and these people, you didn't have to pay to do R&D with them or a group with them. So you got that feedback in real time with real people, and now you can say like, holy F, like our product stinks. We better take it off the market because it's pretty bad then. And then we've had situations like that brands thanked us because they were able to discover something wrong with their product before they even knew there was something wrong with their product because
That's
they found
great
out
news.
from these people, right?
Wait, Rembrandt, I want you to add Avery and I into the Zoom call when you tell the product that it smells bad. So I think I would just want to
Yeah.
submit. Okay, question though for you.
Yeah.
So obviously we've all seen this unbelievable rise, especially on TikTok with TikTok Shop, right? Of influencers utilizing brand opportunities to sell things to their fans, right? And it's like it's unavoidable at this point. Every third post I feel like I see on TikTok is a shopping one. Shopify is on the back end helping to facilitate all of that. What do you like? Do you look at that as competition, or do you think this is a fundamentally different shopping experience when you're on Flip.shop?
Yeah, I mean, technically they're a competitor, but we don't see them that way. Like it's healthy to have different ways to shop. And our model is so different. And again, like we only work directly with brands, right? So it's not like I can decide to sell Avery necklaces on
Mhm.
Flip if I want to, because I don't own Avery necklaces. So only Avery can sell Avery necklaces on Flip, but other platforms may not have those sort of guardrails up. But with us, customers will always know that everything's real, authentic. They're not dupes. They're not from a distributor, not from all those things, because they're getting directly from the brand. Because the way that we connect is directly to a brand's e-commerce site, because that's how we work. We're a marketplace where we connect to their Shopify. You mentioned Shopify, right? And then they get it directly from the brand. So the box will come from that brand. It's not coming from Flip. It's coming from that brand. So I think that customers deserve to know that everything's real and they're getting it directly from the brands versus you might not know from these other platforms where you're getting it from.
I think
So
that that's a really, really valid thing because there's also a huge I mean, there's oddly like a gray market for a lot of things that people would not necessarily
you
even
not
expect.
believe it. Like there's a gray market for shampoo
Oh, I
and
know.
conditioner. And one of our brands said this, and they were like, "You must be joking." They're like, "Nope." And guess what? those dupes are making more money than us.
Yeah.
I go, whoa. And that blew
And these
my
are not
mind.
like small brands. They're like huge.
They're
Nice.
name brands. They're like top 5 brand in the world type brand.
So I feel like I need to start a dupe
And you start a dupe
company.
company.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you can
That's
make
the
a
way.
dupe of Avery necklaces and
Right. I'm gonna
sell it.
do bootleg Avery necklaces.
I'm
Spelled
so not a
3
fan of
A's.
dupes. I'm just not into dupe culture, but
Yeah.
I
You know
am
what's
into
fun?
value culture.
No,
Yeah,
but
I
you know
don't
what's
know
funny, Avery?
what.
I'm just gonna throw this out because I was speaking to our all of our mutual friend Bobby Hundreds, who
Yeah.
said that there are a lot of brands right now that are seeing their bootlegs go for higher than their originals,
Crazy.
especially around like all of these like interesting bootlegs that happened in like the 1990s and early 2000s. Right, it reminds me of all those folks who did the bootleg Simpsons shirts and like sold them on every corner, or the bootleg concert shirts. So those are actually
Yes.
going higher than the original merch, and I'm like, that's kind of amazing.
Okay, but that's like, some cool fashion thing, not like Pantene Pro Weed dupe.
Also true.
See? Avery
Also
knows.
true.
She's like, okay, but really, there's fake soaps, there's fake, like
We
I
need
said,
to put all of these products on the blockchain so we know it's Pantene Pro, and I can
right. There
verify
you
it in
go.
my wallet.
Now
Exactly.
back and bring it back into Web3. Yes.
So,
Yes.
Rembrandt, we're heading into festive season. It's just about Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Talk to me about how Flip is thinking about those holidays. Do you guys like double up your promotions? Do you zag when everybody's zinging?
It's very noisy right now, right? Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday this, Christmas that, New Year's this. It's a lot. So we try to be very mindful. I hate saying that word sometimes, but
Very demure. We get it.
Gen Z took that word from me, and they took demure from me. Just kidding. But yeah, so we're very intentional not to go too crazy. But obviously, yes, we're very much out there. You're gonna get a lot of ads and things being pushed to you from Flip. So it's shopping season, and we're a social shopping app. So of course we're going to be out there. But the way we think about it is that we want to be respectful of everything that's already out there, because obviously the brands are doing their own things. And then we, as our platform, just want to encourage people to shop with us. But it's for the brands. Like, we only make money if the brands make money. So, and there's a fine line, and we want to sort of like straddle that line very carefully, because of the fact that we don't want to, like, what do you call it, over saturate the market per se.
They make everything free.
All right, Rembrandt. Final
Can we talk
question.
about that, by the way?
Let's
So
talk
we have a program that you guys should know about. It's called On the House, which is really cool. Like, obviously there's no other program like it with other platforms, but the more you shop, there's actually stuff that's going to be available for you for free, and it's called On the House. So you'll actually be able to scroll through products that you might have not known yet or might like, and then you could just basically opt in to get that product. And the only thing we ask, instead of in lieu of paying for that product, is that you review that product. So that's really
Hmm.
cool. It's called On the House, and a lot of the kids, a lot of our shoppers love it, because they're like, oh my god, I get this free item, and all I have to do is review it, and then the more I review, the more I get to get free items. So they're getting pair of shoes, they're getting jackets, they're getting sports equipment. It's great. It's not like they're just getting like shampoo and conditioner. They're actually getting like high value items that could be a couple hundred to $1,000 worth of stuff. So they're stoked.
Love that. All right,
Yeah.
Rembrandt, my final question for you is, every time I open Instagram, you're somewhere else in the world. What's your current airline status?
Oh my gosh.
Which is your favorite lounge around the world? And where are you going to be for Thanksgiving?
So versus me telling you what my status is, what I want it to be.
Hmm.
So listen up, American Airlines. I would love to be concierge key.
Okay.
So it's an invite only
At
thing.
American Airlines, come
American
through.
Airlines. I'm at Rembrandt, so please DM me later if you want to finally invite me to concierge key. Best lounge is PS at LAX. It is
Okay.
phenomenal. I don't know if either of you have been there.
We're not
But-
allowed in, actually.
Oh, you're not allowed in private suite? Do you want
No,
me to-
no, they
you
won't.
want me
They
to
won't let
invite
us.
you?
Yes, please.
I'll
if
invite
could
you.
Get us in. Yeah.
As your Christmas present for me. But private suite at LAX is so amazing. And then where am I going to be for Thanksgiving? I'm here in a kid's room at our best friend's house in the Bay Area. So I'll be here all week long, and we'll be doing our annual gingerbread decorating competition this coming Friday. So look out for that on my Instagram.
All right, amazing. At Rembrandt, follow him everywhere. It's always a fun time. Rembrandt
Always.
Flores, Chief Brand and Amplification Officer from Flip.shop, venture investor, comms entrepreneur, just all around amazing person. Thank you for coming on. Hope to see you in Miami in a few weeks.
Yes.
And we'll keep in touch. Thanks for sharing that with us.
It was so good seeing you guys, and I'll see you guys so soon.
Great episode. Rembrandt is a true Renaissance man. He seems to know about everything. I'm upset we didn't get enough talking about his celebrity connections, but he's doing social commerce, he's doing crypto, he's doing innovation, marketing, PR. All of it is Rembrandt.
I know, it's like every time I open some app, he's at the White House. He's with like Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. He's with Mark Anthony or like John Legend. It's just, he has a very charmed life, and he hustles really hard to have that life. So I give him props for it. But he is one of my favorite social people to see because he's always like, he doesn't drink. He like brings the party, which is
He
also
does.
wonderful. So I love that. I love, I know we've been talking about Flip.shop for a while. I think social commerce is still on the rise, still becoming something bigger and bigger. Really, once you think about that married with the meme coin and celebrity sort of amplification opportunities that are coming, it's like our whole world changes before our eyes every few months, and that's part of it. So I was glad we were able to have him on.
Great guest and perfectly timed with all the things that are happening for holiday.
Absolutely. All right, Avery, we will talk to you post Thanksgiving. Have a great one.
You too.